Welcome back to the tutorials. Okay, so this one is optional. So if you feel like you want to move straight on, you can, but I'm going to teach you how to use the chamfer and the fillet tools. So these two tools up here. So far we have produced our dice, but actually our dice would look much nicer if it had some nice curvy edges on it. So to do that, we can select these edges in 3D view. So this time we're not going to two-dimensional. We don't need to draw anything. We've already got the parts we need. So we can select the edges that we want, or the faces that we want. So I'm going to go over here, I'm going to deselect everything, and I can literally go around and click on the ones that I want. And if I click something I don't want, I can just click it again to deselect it. And I can go around and select all of them, using all the views to make sure I don't miss any lines out. So go all the way around using the three-dimensional views and select it. Check underneath. Always check underneath to make sure you've got what you think you want selected. And then in this case, I'm going to do the fillet. Now, a fillet is a curve, all right? So you can see all the edges that I've selected are listed down here, okay? And then we've got the measurement is the radius, so half of the distance from the center to the outside edge of a circle. Okay, and then we've got the control is distance. There's different options, and I can control how curved it is. So 0.2 looks like it's showing me here. You can tell I've got a mouse now. I'm using the rollerball to zoom in. Okay, so I can increase that. I might see what it looks like with 0.3 centimeters. So 0.3, and let's have a look at that. So I press enter. 0.3 is a bit better, I think. It's a bit nicer. I could go up to 4, but I don't want to get too close to these edges. You'll see why in a second. So I click that and it does the fillet. Now, if everything's okay, it will be black like this. Okay, but I have a problem with a chamfer that I did before I started recording. So you can see there's a problem here with this chamfer. Now the chamfer, let's just do one on this top edge. So before we get into that, so we'll work that out in a second. So on this top edge here, I can do a chamfer. And chamfering is where you take a straight, instead of curving it, you take a straight flat edge. So I'm going to zoom out, zoom in on this top so I can select it easily. And this top edge here, that's the one I want to select. And I'm going to do a chamfer on it. Okay, so it's opening up the menu like it always does. We've got some options in terms of offset, tangent, equal distance each side, or two different distances. We're going to keep it equal at this point. And that says 0.05. So let's make that up to 4 and press enter. Now, when we put 4, you can see that's made a great big dip in the top there. Now, I'm actually okay with that. I think that looks all right, but it's quite big. Now, it's got no problem with that chamfer. Let's just leave it at that for now. You could have a play around with different values if you want to. So now I've got this great big dip in the top. Now, this edge has been created. So on that edge, I might want to fillet it so that it's got a curve, which makes it nice and smooth. And you can see I was playing around with this down here. So I've got a curved edge and stuff. There's loads of different ways we can do it. I'm just going to say yes to that. Quite like it. Okay, so it's got a nice smooth and it's got a dot at the bottom. So why is this one gone red? Let's go and have a look. So remember, I can double click on it to reopen it, and that shows me where the problem is, and it's the 3 on the other side. So I can spin it around and have a look in. In fact, I want to go and have a look at this from the front. And you can see there's a red mark here. So here I've got the red line here. It's saying, I don't know how to chamfer this. So if this happens with a document, we can have a go at reducing how big the chamfer is and see if that solves the problem. So it might be just that one's crossing over another, and it does seem to be that's the case. So because this edge here is not actually right at the corner, it's saying there's a conflict down in this corner if we make this too big. So let's try 4 and see if that works. So no, it doesn't work. So you can see it's got a problem here. So in this case, I'm going to decide I don't want to take that action because there's too many problems at the corner of this 3. It's not going to work. It's going to be difficult to manufacture as well. So I'm going to click OK. I've got it. So I can click the cross here, but it stays. So even though I said no, I don't want to do it, it stays here. So I need to delete it using the delete key that says delete, not the backspace key. All right. Now I've got nothing red in my list again. I'm ready to move forward. So you can curve and chamfer as many of the edges as you want of your dice until you consider it to be finished. So you can have a look around, try different things on different sides, or make them look the same if you want to. That's it for this one. We're going to move straight on to making a container to shake our dice in. So we're going to do that in a second. So this is the first time we're going to make a new part.